Welcome to our channel, the place where your English journey begins. Today I have something truly special for you, a story that will change the way you think about learning English forever. Imagine standing in a crowded room, your heart pounding, your hands shaking, and everyone staring at you, waiting for you to speak. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out. Words are trapped inside your mind, but they refuse to escape. People whisper, some laugh, and you feel like disappearing. Have you ever felt this way while speaking English? Have you ever been scared of making mistakes, of being judged, of feeling like you're not good enough? This is not just a story. This is your story. And today, you will see that no matter how weak your English is, no matter how many times you have failed, you can become fluent. English is not just a language. It is a key that can unlock endless opportunities for you. It can give you confidence, better jobs, new friends, the ability to travel the world, and most importantly, a completely new life. By the end of this story, you will not only feel inspired, but you will also know exactly what you need to do to improve your English and change your life. So, are you ready? Are you ready to take the first step towards a brighter future? Let me introduce you to someone who is just like you. Her name is Emma, and she once believed she could never learn English. But what happened next changed her life forever. Emma was 23 years old when she moved to a new country. She was excited, full of dreams, but there was one problem. Her English was terrible. She had studied English in school, but in real life it was useless. When she tried to talk, people didn't understand her. Her pronunciation was bad. Her grammar was a mess. And worst of all, she was scared to speak. Her first day in the new country was a disaster. She went to a coffee shop and tried to order. One cup coffee, me, give, please, she said nervously. The cashier looked confused. Excuse me? Emma's face turned red. She tried again. One coffee, I want. People behind her started laughing. Someone whispered, "She doesn't even know how to order coffee." Emma grabbed her coffee and ran out of the shop, humiliated. She felt like crying. Maybe they're right, she thought. Maybe I'll never be good at English. Maybe I should just give up. That night, Emma sat alone in her tiny apartment, staring at the ceiling. She thought about all the times she had struggled, when people ignored her because she couldn't speak well, when she failed a job interview because of her bad English, when she felt like an outsider in her own life. But then something happened. She looked in the mirror and saw a fighter staring back at her. I am not stupid. I am not weak. I just haven't learned the right way yet, but I will. I don't care how hard it is, I will learn English. And one day, I will speak fluently, confidently, and no one will ever laugh at me again. That night, Emma made a decision that changed her life. She would learn English, no matter what. But she had no idea where to start. She had tried books, grammar exercises, and watching English lessons, but nothing seemed to work. Until one day, she discovered something that changed everything. The next morning, Emma made a promise to herself. I will not be afraid to make mistakes. I will not be afraid to speak. I will practice English every single day, no matter how hard it gets. But when she tried to practice, she felt lost. She had no one to talk to. She didn't know where to begin. Should she memorize words? Should she study grammar? Should she watch movies? Then she remembered something. She had read that the fastest way to learn a language is to think in that language. Maybe my problem is not speaking. Maybe my problem is thinking in my own language first. That day, she made a small change. Instead of thinking in her native language and then translating to English, she forced herself to think in English. When she woke up, she said to herself, "Good morning, Emma. Today is a new day. You will learn something new today." When she made coffee, she thought, "This is a cup. This is coffee. I am making coffee." When she went outside, she described everything in English in her head. That is a car. The sky is blue. That girl is wearing a red dress. At first it was hard. She had to stop and search for words. But after a few days, something amazing happened. Her brain started thinking in English naturally. Thinking in English was helping her, but speaking was still scary. She was afraid of making mistakes. She was afraid people would judge her. But then she remembered something her teacher once told her. Mistakes don't mean you're failing. Mistakes mean you're learning. So Emma made a new rule. She would not care about mistakes anymore. She would just speak. That day, she went to the same coffee shop where she had been embarrassed before. She took a deep breath and said, "Hi. Can I have a coffee, please?" It was a simple sentence, but it was perfectly clear. The cashier smiled and said, "Of course. What size would you like?" Emma panicked. She didn't understand the question. But instead of running away, she calmly said, Sorry, can you repeat that?" The cashier repeated slowly, "What size would you like? Small, medium, or large?" Emma smiled. Now she understood. "Oh, medium, please." For the first time, she didn't feel like a failure. She felt proud. She realized something important. You don't need perfect English to communicate. You just need to be brave. That small success gave her confidence. Now, she was ready to go even further. Emma noticed something. Babies don't learn languages by studying grammar books. They learn by listening, repeating, and using the language. If babies can learn like that, why can't I? She thought. So she made a new rule. No more boring grammar rules. No more memorizing lists. I will learn English the way babies do. Here's what she did. 1. She started listening to English every day. She listened to simple English podcasts. She watched English movies with subtitles first, then without subtitles. She listened to English songs and repeated the lyrics. 2. She copied native speakers. She would pause a video, repeat what the speaker said, and try to copy their accent. She practiced shadowing, listening to a sentence and saying it at the same time. 3. She spoke to herself. She had full conversations in English in front of the mirror. She pretended to order food, give directions, and introduce herself. 4. She wrote in English every day. She kept a simple diary. Today was a good day. I went to the park. The weather was nice. She wrote down new words she learned. 5. She learned phrases, not just words. Instead of memorizing individual words, she learned full sentences. Instead of learning hungry, She learned, "I am hungry, and can I have some food?" Within a few weeks, Emma started noticing something incredible. English was no longer difficult. She was speaking more confidently. She was understanding conversations better. She wasn't perfect, but she was improving faster than ever before. Just when Emma was feeling confident, something terrible happened. She applied for a job, and the interviewer asked her a question in English. She froze. Her mind went blank. She couldn't find the words. "I'm sorry, I don't understand," she said softly. The interviewer smiled but said, "Thank you for coming." She knew what that meant. She didn't get the job. Emma walked home, feeling defeated. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'll never be fluent. Maybe I should just give up. Tears filled her eyes, but then she remembered something. I didn't come this far to quit now. She took a deep breath and made a new decision. This was not the end. This was just the beginning. Emma had come a long way. She was thinking in English, speaking without fear and learning naturally. But when she faced her first job interview in English, she failed. She couldn't answer the questions. Her mind went blank. She walked out feeling like a failure. She almost gave up. But then she reminded herself of something powerful. I didn't come this far to quit now. I will learn. I will improve. And one day, I will speak fluently and confidently. This was the moment everything changed. Emma realized that learning English is not just about speaking. It's about training your mind to think, respond, and express ideas naturally. She made a plan, a powerful step-by-step plan that would take her from a nervous beginner to a fluent English speaker. And today I am going to share everything she did, in detail, so that you can follow the same path and finally master English. The first thing Emma changed was her mindset. She realized that learning English is not about being perfect. It's about communicating. She stopped focusing on grammar rules, translating everything, trying to sound like a native speaker, and instead, she focused on speaking naturally, even with mistakes, understanding and responding, instead of translating. Confidence over perfection. One day she wrote these words on a sticky note and placed them on her mirror. Confidence first, fluency second, perfection never. She read it every morning. She programmed her brain to believe that she deserved to speak English fluently. She knew that mindset is 50% of success. If you fear English, you will never improve. But if you embrace it, speak it, and make mistakes without shame, you will improve faster than you ever imagined. Lesson: change your mindset, and you will change your English. Training her ears. The secret to understanding English. Emma's biggest problem was understanding fast English. She realized something important. If you can't understand English, you can't speak it well. So she trained her ears like an athlete trains their muscles. Her listening practice routine. She started listening to English every single day. Podcasts, YouTube videos, audiobooks, English TV shows. She followed the 3-step listening method. First, listen with subtitles to understand. Second, listen without subtitles to challenge her brain. Third, repeat what she heard to improve pronunciation. She used the slow listening technique. She slowed down difficult audios and repeated them until she understood. She listened actively, not passively. She asked herself, "What is this conversation about? What are the key words? How would I respond?" Within 1 month, her brain started recognizing English faster. Conversations didn't feel like a blur anymore. Lesson. Listen every day, train your ears, and you will understand English naturally. The speaking challenge. How she forced herself to speak. Emma knew that if she wanted to be fluent, she had to speak more. But there was a problem. She had no one to talk to. So she created a system to practice speaking alone. Emma's powerful speaking plan. She spoke out loud every morning. She described her plans. "Today I will go to the park. Then I will have lunch. Later I will read a book." She answered imaginary questions. She asked herself, "What did you do today? What do you like to eat? What are your hobbies?" Then she answered out loud. She recorded her voice. Every night she recorded herself speaking for 2 minutes. She listened and improved her pronunciation. She joined English-speaking groups online. She found people to talk to. She sent voice messages instead of texts. Within a few weeks, she noticed a huge improvement. Speaking felt less scary. Words came faster. Her confidence exploded. Lesson. If you don't speak, you will never improve. Speak every day, even if you're alone. The vocabulary explosion. How she learned. 1,000 words in 3 months. Emma realized that she often struggled because she didn't know enough words. But instead of memorizing long word lists, she used a smarter method. She learned words in context. Instead of memorizing random words, she learned words inside sentences. Example. Instead of just learning delicious, she learned, "This cake is delicious. The food at that restaurant is really delicious." She learned words from real conversations. Whenever she watched a movie or listened to a podcast, she wrote down useful phrases. She focused on the most common words. She learned the top 1,000 English words because those words are used in 90% of conversations. She reviewed daily. Every day she spent 10 minutes reviewing old words. She used the 5 times rule. She used each new word 5 times in a day to make it stick. After 3 months, she had over 1,000 new words in her vocabulary. Lesson. Learn words inside sentences, review daily, and use new words immediately. The confidence breakthrough. How Emma finally became fluent. Emma's final challenge was real conversations. She knew that learning alone was good, but real fluency comes from speaking with people. So she did something bold. She forced herself to talk to native speakers. She joined local English meetups. She started small conversations everywhere, in shops, restaurants, and parks. Even if it was just, "Hi, how are you?" She stopped being afraid of mistakes. At first, she was nervous. She made mistakes. But every conversation made her better. One day, something magical happened. She was talking to a native English speaker, and she didn't have to translate in her head. She just spoke naturally. For the first time, she felt free. Emma was no longer learning English. She was living it. Lesson. Real fluency comes from real conversations. Speak as much as you can. Emma had done it. She went from struggling with English to speaking confidently. She had trained her ears, improved her vocabulary, and forced herself to speak every day. But her journey was not over yet. She didn't just want to speak English. She wanted to change her life with English. And that's exactly what she did. Emma had always dreamed of working for an international company. She wanted a job where she could earn a high salary, travel to different countries, work with smart and successful people, feel proud of herself. But there was one big problem. All the best jobs required English. At first, this dream felt impossible. She used to think, I will never be good enough in English. No one will hire me. Fluent English speakers are smarter than me. But after months of learning and practicing, something changed inside her. She realized that she was not the same person anymore. She had worked hard. She had pushed herself. She had improved every single day. So she made a decision. I will apply for my dream job. I will not let fear stop me. Emma applied for a job at a big international company. She was nervous, but she remembered one thing. I don't need perfect English. I just need confidence. When the interviewer asked, "Tell me about yourself," Emma didn't freeze. She smiled and spoke naturally. She told them how she had worked hard to learn English, how she practiced every day to improve, how she never gave up, even when she failed. The interviewer was impressed. They said, "Emma, we love your confidence. You're exactly the kind of person we want on our team." And just like that, Emma got the job. Her salary, $4,000 per month. More money than she had ever earned in her life. The moment she saw her first paycheck, she cried tears of happiness. She couldn't believe it. English had changed her life. After getting the job, Emma's life transformed completely. She started traveling the world. Before learning English, she had never left her country. Now, her company sent her to different countries for work. She visited London. She saw Big Ben and spoke confidently with native English speakers, New York. She ordered coffee in English without fear, Paris. She gave a presentation in English in front of 50 people. She felt powerful, independent, and unstoppable. She became more confident in everything. Emma noticed that English didn't just help her at work. It changed who she was as a person. Before learning English, she was shy and scared to talk to people. She always doubted herself. She felt small in the world. After learning English, she spoke with confidence. She believed in herself. She felt like she could do anything. One day, a friend told her, "Emma, you're not the same person you were a year ago. You have completely changed." She smiled because she knew. It was true. She helped others learn English. After seeing how much English had changed her life, Emma made a new goal. I want to help others learn English too. So she started, teaching her friends simple methods to improve, helping people online by sharing her story, inspiring others to believe in themselves. She realized that the best way to keep improving was to help others improve too. Emma's journey proves one thing: anyone can learn English and change their life. And now, she wants to share her biggest lessons with you. Stop saying, "I can't believe in yourself." Emma used to think, "I can never learn English." But she was wrong. She realized that the only difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is belief. If you keep telling yourself, "I'm bad at English," "I will never be fluent," English is too hard. Then guess what? You will never improve. But if you start saying, I can learn English, I am improving every day, I will become fluent. Then one day, you will wake up and become the person you always dreamed of. Speak English every single day. Fluency doesn't come from studying. It comes from using English in real life. Emma's golden rule. If you don't speak, you will never improve. So from today, start speaking, even if you're alone. Talk to yourself in English. Repeat conversations from movies. Send voice messages instead of texts. Join groups where people practice English. The more you speak, the faster you will improve. Keep going, even when it feels hard. There were many times Emma wanted to give up, but she didn't. She kept learning, practicing, and pushing herself. Why? Because she knew every effort counts. Maybe today you only learn one new word. Maybe today you only practice 5 minutes. But guess what? That's still progress. If you improve 1% every day in 1 year, you will be 365% better. Your future is waiting. Take action now. Emma's life changed because she decided to take action. She didn't wait for the perfect moment. She started with what she had, where she was. And now, she has a high-paying job. She travels the world. She's more confident than ever. And all of this happened because she learned English. Now it's your turn. This is your moment. If you are struggling with English, don't give up. 1 year from now, you could. Speak English confidently. Get your dream job. Travel to amazing places. Feel proud of yourself. But only if you start today. Remember Emma's story. She was just like you. She struggled, failed, and felt lost. But she kept going. And in the end, she won. And so can you. Your journey starts now. Are you ready to change your life?